Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. For any of you guys that haven't gotten a chance to meet Heather yet, she's pretty incredible. And I think you're going to be rather inspired by just whatever she has to share. So Heather Gniffke, you know how many times I've said Gniffke and avoided the G? And then your video you sent me, and I was like, I'm going to get that right. She's an Emerald Ambassador. And guys, she achieved Emerald rather quickly. And this is one of the things that inspired me because she has a very full life. And I know that you cannot achieve such a great big goal if you don't have some consistency and some organization and that short of amount of time. So she joined in July of 2019. So that's about, if you guys want me to do the math for you, actually she did it for me, 11 months to hit Emerald. 11 months. That is incredible to me. So she's a homeschooling mom of 8 with number 9 on the way. And her husband is a police chaplain. So you can imagine that she's waiting around for him to come home. I'm sure. Did you know that Carrie's husband's a chaplain as well?
I saw that for like the jail, right? That is so cool.
Yeah. So a couple of her greatest strengths are something that we can all work to achieve. She's coachable. She loves to learn, and she's constantly trying to improve. These are the things that she is constantly working on, making sure that she keeps in her daily routine. And I just really want her to start off by sharing her story. First, Heather, what did your life look like before Plexus? And then how has it changed since that's been added into your life?
Yeah, well, before Plexus, I had known Wendy for about 4 years, and she consistently asked me to try Plexus. She was following me on Facebook, and we chatted often, and on the phone, we were just good friends, prayed for each other. And she would send me a message, like if somebody was sick or something big happened in our life, she's like, I have something that could help you. I'm like, no, that's okay. We lived on a hobby farm. We raised goats, like made our own, had milk from the goats, and had a huge garden, like self-sufficient. We butchered our own chickens, made kefir, made kombucha. I'm like, I don't need your Plexus. I'm good. So did it all. I felt like I was taking care of everything, but kids kept getting sick, and we ate like, I mean, once in a while they get treats, but I feel like we do pretty well with clean eating. But then all of a sudden there would be like one of our kids would be constipated. Like, where did that come from? So we had like thing after thing after thing. And I thought, we're doing everything right. They drink water. I don't know. So Wendy was super consistent with being my good friend. She has taught me so much through this about what it's like to keep a relationship. I mean, for 4 years, she stayed my friend. And then through Plexusin every once in a while. And that taught me a lot of how, people are going to say no, and you still have to love them and do life with them, even when they're saying no, because you never know when that's going to turn around. But anyway, we adopted one of our children right. It's been about 4.5 years ago that he's been part of our life. And in the last 4 years, it's been like really, really, really hard. And we had 2 big moves. We moved in April to Wilmer, Minnesota, like my dream. We moved there where our family, like our homeschool family and our good friends were in our church family. We moved there in April. I found out I was pregnant with our 8th baby. We've been trying, but wasn't, I don't know. It was a long time for us. Usually when we start trying, I get pregnant right away. And that was not a thing with the 8th one. And things fell apart for my husband's job. He is a tree cutter, completely fell apart. And we ended up moving to Sioux Falls, where we live now, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, in August. So a huge move, April to Wilmer, where we all wanted to be. And then to Sioux Falls in August, where no one wanted to be. And we weren't planning a move. Like, we thought we were where God called us. He made it so clear, here's where you should be. And so that was August of like 2018. And for a solid year, I didn't tell anybody. I kept trying to mask it and pretend like everything was okay, but I have never been in such a dark place. And I was still homeschooling the kids, but like, oh my word. Like when I felt like it, like a few times a week, like they were raising each other. I would be in my bed and I felt like I just couldn't even get out of bed, like horrible anxiety and and I had a baby in the middle of that then, and postpartum depression, all this stuff I didn't even realize until Plexus came into my life and I got better how much I was suffering. But even like getting out of bed in the morning, I'd be up for an hour and a half and like, oh my word, I need a nap. I just got up and I felt like I was sleeping, but I wasn't. It was just horrible. And I felt like that angry mom was coming out and I hated myself. I hated who I was. I wasn't being a good wife. And I don't know, like something just had to change. And my husband and I went on a date. It was just about a year in July that we had lived in Sioux Falls. And he's like, something's got to change. This is not working with our man. Like everything just felt like it was falling apart. And I was just exhausted all that time. And he's like, Wendy keeps talking to you about Plexus. Do you want to try it? And we were watching like Wendy and then Bridget Ryan too. I'm friends with her. And she was talking to me and I'm watching their stories. And like, especially Bridget Ryan, she'd post about all the trips they're taking and everything Plexus is giving them. And she just got an iPad. And I'm like, we've never gotten a vacation. We've never gotten to do anything like that. My husband's been a slave to his work and never been able to put our family first. He's like, all right, I've been praying about it. Like out of nowhere. Like once in a while I'd mention, like Wendy asked me again. And he was like, whatever. So he was not into the products, but he's like, maybe you should try. Like something should change. So finally I'm like, all right, I'm going to try this. And how do you get these vacations and all that really cool free Plexus swag, all the things that I keep seeing. So it was like the third week in July and I ended up joining Plexus within the first, I'm like, Wendy, I don't even know what this stuff is. Like she sent me some pink drink, like some samples of lean, but I had no idea, like, because I didn't pay attention to any message she ever sent me. I didn't care. Like, I don't know. So, but I did know TJ's like, you do have to, like, if you're going to do it, have people, like Wendy said, 3 people, get 3 people, and then it's paid for. So he's like, can you just do that? I enrolled on a Sunday, and by Friday, I had my first paycheck. By the end of the month, there was like a leaders retreat. I didn't know what that was. But by the end of the month, she's like, if you enroll 2 more people, you'll earn leaders retreat. I was a silver at that point. And within the first week of August, I can't remember the dates for sure, but I earned leaders retreat in California. So I was like, okay, Lord, like we're going to go on vacation. My husband and I had not gone on a vacation in like 9 years. And so that was like a huge blessing. And I remember telling people like, I'm going to California with this company. I don't even really know what it is, but I'm going to California. So I was so excited. And Wendy just kept taking me by the hand, like the next step, the next thing, and never gave me too much at one time. Like, let's focus on like, okay, here's your first, get 3 people. And we did that. And then here's the next goal and the next goal. And she was so good at mapping out the goals for me. So everything she did, I wrote down, like I journaled everything. And then she kept telling me to duplicate. I'm like, what do I duplicate? I don't know what that means. Like, what do you mean? But then everything she said, I tried for a while. I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to do it my own way, and tried reinventing the wheel for like some of it. But I just really learned pretty quickly that if I follow her advice and do what she's telling me, it would take me somewhere. So that's how it began. And oh my goodness, within like, I would say the first week of being on the products, I started with Triplex and Active and Lean. I felt like I had energy all day long. And the kids were like, what do you drink? Do you want another one of those drinks that you're drinking? Like offering to mix it. Like they were noticing a difference right away. So that alone was a blessing for our family. And it never has gone backwards. I went through maybe a little bit of detox, like headaches and things, but nothing that I wasn't willing to like, I'm pushing forward because I've seen now. I'm looking at all these stories, and right away I started watching the Diamond documentaries, and just, I was feeling good. And then seeing income coming in and getting like a trip within the first like 3 weeks of doing Plexus. So that was really exciting for us. And then I think about a month in, we got my daughter on the triplex. She was severely constipated. Since then, we haven't had any constipation or health issues with all 8 of our kids. And then probably 3 or no, maybe it's more like 4 months in, TJ, my husband, finally was like, all right, okay, I'll try the pink drink. So he was super supportive of what I was doing, but he was like, I'm not doing the products. Like, that's a pink drink. No, I'm a guy. So I didn't ever push it, but it was irritating, like, to have my husband be supportive, but then at the same time, like, you're not really being supportive when you're not drinking it or doing all of it with me. So he had huge weight loss results, like I think like 25 pounds or something in 30 days, and you could like visibly see the difference. So it sold itself for him. And then he didn't enroll until this past August. So I had been using Plexus for a year, hit Emerald, and following month he enrolled, and now he's doing stuff with the men. But that's kind of a long before and now, I guess.
No, that was perfect. And when you said that he lost all that weight, I actually remember you sharing that before and after, and I'm like, oh, word. It's like it was all belly, and then it's gone.
Yeah, pregnant. I'm like, oh my
word. That's incredible. I love that you journaled all of the steps that Wendy walked you through. Like, how genius is that? I don't ever thought to do that. I probably have like, I don't know, 10 notebooks of different things, but people, so smart. Okay. The next thing I was going to ask you was, since you do obviously have very full days with homeschooling and just everything that you're doing, would you share for those that are still working on figuring out how to develop that routine? Because some people are new to homeschooling, some people are still figuring out how to do it, but also having the valuable time for family, as well as work hours. So if you would share how you do your day-to-day.
Sure. So the big thing to me, I remember Wendy and I talking like multiple times, was prior to Plexus, I didn't want the kids seeing me on my phone. Like, I was like, I don't judge people, but for me, I'm like, I'm with my kids, and when I'm with them, I want to be intentional. And then if I'm gonna like do a business, I actually have to be on my phone. And she finally, like, I don't know, I was still waitressing. I was waitressing along with homeschooling. And she's like, do you want to go to work? Like, your kids are like not seeing you at all. Like, why do you care if you're on the couch on your phone and they're snuggled up next to you? And it finally like hit me on that, like, if I could stay home on the couch on my phone versus having to go waitress for like 12-hour days like it was doing, this is stupid. So I don't know why it was such a mind struggle, but getting over that was a big part of it, and letting them know like mom's helping people. And then they have been fully involved from day one. Like, they knew when we did this, when I started, we all sat down and we wrote our goal. Like, let's dream. We've never dreamed as a family. And every one of my kids that are big enough, like the 3-year-old doesn't, he didn't really count in this conversation, but he was in the room. We all wrote down like our dreams. What do we want? Like, where do we want to do on a vacation, or what would our dream look like in our dream life? And that was something we've never, ever done. So from day one, they have been involved. And every time I signed somebody up, they knew about it, and they, like, so excited with me and with they've been part of this from day one. So then when I'm enrolling people and coaching them and they're having results, we eat dinner together at night, and I'd tell T, like, we'd sit there and I'd ask, like, how is it going? And get to cheer on my friends that are seeing huge results. And so they got it, that like, I'm making money, we're earning these awesome trips, and then people are feeling better. So they were like involved right away, motivating me, I think, kind of like cheering me on for the next person. So that really helped me as far as like working when I had that big struggle of they're around all the time. How do I make this work? For a long time, I didn't want to work because they were around. So anyway, I'm also not a morning person. I never, ever, ever, ever have been. Like, remember I said I didn't want to get out of bed? Well, I started being able to get up and I didn't have brain fog and I wasn't feeling horrible, but I still like don't like getting up in the morning. But I have consistently, since I decided like I want to be a jewel. I have gotten up between 5 and 5:30 every morning. And we also trained for a 30-mile run and did that 2 years in a row. And that being when I was training, I'd be up by 4:30 so I could get a run in and then do everything else, which means you have to be so disciplined. And I'm a 7 on the Enneagram. I'm not, if there's anything fun to do, I'm like, oh, I'll just do that instead. But discipline is really hard for me. But that's one area that I found that if I do not stay consistent with going to bed at a decent time and getting up in the morning, my whole day seems shot. It's like really hard to get it back together. But okay, this is what I do. I time block, and I'm not into a routine. I cannot do not a routine. I can't do a scheduled minute by minute or hour by hour schedule. It just doesn't work. And I feel like a huge failure when I'm like, shoot, it's 9 o'clock and I was supposed to be doing this. And now it's 9:30 and I'm like way off track already. But time blocking has completely changed everything for me. So I get up 5:30, usually at the very latest, for sure Monday through Friday. Saturday, sometimes we sleep in, but 5:30 until about 9 o'clock in the morning is my time, like just for me. The kids are getting up, and then we have a 14-year-old and a 12-year-old, and they're really helpful. So when they get up, they do breakfast for the family, and they do their morning jobs. And by 9 a.m., we start school. So between 5:30 and for sure 8:30, I have my devotions, my quiet time with the Lord. And then I can work for like 2 solid hours before anybody's awake. So that is when I get like the things done that I really want to do, that I don't want to be interrupted. So I have a list. I make lists all over. And that's when I like, at least for sure, I mean, there's for sure a good hour of working time, usually 2. And then I can exercise or get ready for the day, do whatever I need at that time. And then from 9 a.m. until noon, especially during the school year when we're doing school, I try to be really disciplined on not touching my phone. And that's the time with the kids. And I'm going to do school with them, and I'm with them. Once in a while, there's a big thing, I'll hop on my phone and check it out, but if I touch my phone, I'm done for. So I put it in the other room and I just try to stay away from it. And then at noon, we do lunch and do a read aloud time again. And then every single person in my entire home, except for me, well, they might think I take a nap, I don't know, but they take a rest. It's quiet time. So even the 14-year-old, which I think she enjoys because she does a lot during the day for us and helps out, but everybody goes somewhere and they can read, sleep, think, or pray. Their feet can't touch the ground unless somebody's bleeding or there's a fire, like an emergency. So it took a lot of training, but worth the training. They all go to their rooms for a minimum of an hour. And if they make me mad, I might add like 15 minutes every time I talk. So few have earned like 4 to 5 hours in their room, and they don't do that anymore. So took training, but that has definitely helped. So 1 hour minimum, every person in this home is in their room. But we also do like 10-minute tidy ups throughout the day because we have a lot of kids, a lot of people here, and I do not like my house being a disaster because I can't function in that. So everyone do your jobs, 10-minute timer, quick tidy up, and then they'll go have their quiet time, and then I can work another solid hour. But usually every person falls asleep, even the 14-year-old, because they're reading and they're like, oh, I'm actually tired. And I don't wake them ever. They're not getting woken up. So then it turns into like 2 or 3 hours that I have for the afternoon of, especially the little kids, they all nap. Like the 5-year-old and down for sure nap every day for 2 to 3 hours, which is so nice. So then I can work in the afternoon and they get up, and then I put my phone away when they're up and I just interact with them, do things. We have, afternoon stuff that we do together. And then at that point, the bigger kids are for sure done with school. My oldest is a freshman, which is so crazy, but I try to respect her about letting her get her school done. And usually like there's like an hour right before dinner that I can work again. If I'm like on a big goal that I feel like I need another hour, and they'll all play together. Like they have to go play outside or do some kind of playing together. We don't do very many screens, but yeah, they go play, and then we do dinner and family time after dinner. Family time is really important to me. even though I'm with them all day long, but being intentional, it's still like, I want to have fun with them, not just do school with them. So we'll dinner, tidy up, family time when my husband gets home, and do stuff together, and then do our bedtime routine, and they go to bed. And the goal is 7:30, 8 o'clock at the very latest, if they're all in bed and they're not sleeping, because they probably took a 3-hour nap. So I don't care though. They're going in their rooms. They all share rooms, and they can talk. They can do, unless it's like crazy loud, then there's problems too. But they just go in their rooms after we've done the bedtime thing. And by 8 o'clock, we for sure, like, everyone's in their room. And then depending on like how much work I got done during the day, I will possibly go on and work later that night, but I try to just shut it down and then have that one-on-one time with my husband. But it just kind of depends. Month end, we're for sure working after 8. But even at month end, I try to be diligent with like those times. And I feel like God has always honored every single thing in all of this when I've been diligent in like what he's called me to. And like the last, I hit senior gold, ruby, senior ruby, emerald in 3 months. And every single rank up, I had hit the rank up like by the 28th, like 2 days before month end. I was never scrambling. And I really believe it was because of that, being diligent and consistent. And I really did follow through with like, it was hard, a lot of hard work. But when I stayed consistent, that's when I saw everything paying off.
I'm like jotting down all these notes of clearly you say that you're lacking, or not lacking, but you have a hard time with discipline, but I'm not seeing that.
It's a battle.
Well, you're winning the battle, and I'm impressed. Like, you follow through. You definitely follow through because you know what it is that you're working towards, which actually is linked with the other question that I wanted to ask is, what is that deepest motivator that makes you stay consistent regardless of all of the things, and makes you, outside of, you know, family is very important to you. And I love your intentionality, because as you go through your day, you're making it a point to fit everyone. It's not just, I have to do this, so you're going to do that. It's, you need this and you need this, and you make it about everyone, but everyone benefits, therefore everyone's winning. But what is it that is your deepest motivator that keeps you going, even on those days when you're like, it's just been a long day, I just would rather not do anything?
You know, it's definitely changed. In the beginning, I feel like it was really selfish. It was about wanting the money and wanting, and maybe that's not selfish, but like I really wanted those trips and all of the fun things. And then I started growing this amazing team. And our team is now like over 600 people, which I'm like, whoa. In the last like 4 months, grew by 600 people. It's crazy. And my motivator, like, it totally changed when that started happening. When I think it was in May or June, I had 6 girls go gold, and our team, everything changed. They all those girls have this kingdom mindset of, let's make a kingdom impact and share the gospel with everyone. And not in like a yucky kind of way, but like, they're praying over their people, and maybe their people don't even know it. Like, they have sticky notes and they are making a big impact. And to be part of that it's completely changed everything for my business and for why I'm doing this. And to see there are people coming to the Lord, like, it's amazing. So it is just, and to see them ranking up and to be part of that excitement, that like really pushes me now to like, oh, who can I help next? Like, hit silver. We had 31 people hit silver in 1 month. Like, that was my driving factor. Like, I want to help another person. I want to do it again. Like, and the excitement that they get. And then now they're not having to pay for their products. And then they're sending me messages that people are losing weight, or they're feeling better, or they're coming off their medicines that they've been on. Like, it has just motivated me beyond belief to have that, to see that happen. So that's really fun. I also really badly want to be the first diamond in South Dakota. It's kind of like, it'd be really fun. Maybe it'll happen.
Oh, you could totally do it. Come on. I mean, have you heard of other jewels in South Dakota?
There is another jewel. She reached out to me when she heard I hit emerald. She hit sapphire the same month I hit emerald. So I'm like, hang on a minute.
The pressure's on.
So we've been chatting. She lives out by, she's in the Black Hills, and it'd be fun to meet her. She's super awesome. So
that's so fun.
Yeah.
I totally believe that you can do it. I do. Man, I guess I've asked you all those questions that I said that I would ask you. Let's see. Does anyone actually, let's go ahead and see if anyone has their own question that they want to ask Heather. She knows that I was going to open it up to a Q&A time. If anyone is like, oh, love to know, just unmute yourself and ask away. Someone's got to have something.
Yeah, I have something. What do you and your team do for fun and to build team culture, since I'm assuming you're not getting together?
Yeah, that's hard because our team is spread out all over a lot. We have a chunk in Minnesota, which is like 3.5 hours away from me, where there's kind of a chunk of them. Otherwise, they're like all over United States. But we have a leader chat, we call it. So the people that are like really working for the business, I feel like we have a really good culture in that chat. And we have like tried to get together as much as we could. Marco Polo is a big deal. There's a bunch of us that Marco Polo together, not all in like one big chat, but different chats. So I think the culture there. And then we do have like a group page. It's not like my personal page, but we keep having different challenges. And then we just keep adding everybody to the challenges and lots of prizes and giveaways. And I think I've seen so many people cheering each other on these challenges. So that's been really, really awesome too. So I think there's just been a lot of different things. And there's most of my girls that are really leading put me in three-way chat. So then I'm just, there's, I don't know, at least 12 of them that are my husband's been gone for 3 days and he just walked in the door. Anyway, so now I'm distracted. He's so cute. Okay.
We will try to wrap it up soon.
Okay, so I think those things, though, the downline that I have, they've all gotten to be like really good friends. Like they're all sidelines, but they've all really connected. So that is hard. Like, and we're always trying to like, how can we keep connecting better as a team and keep building those relationships, because that is so important to me. The friendship in that community is a big deal.
Anyone else have a question? And then we're going to let this gal go.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, Alicia.
Yes. About how many hours do you put into a day? I'm just curious. Total.
Yeah, I think it kind of depends on where we're at. Like when I was going for Emerald, that was the same month I had all these people ranking up. So I was like in a crazy amount of three-way chats, and it's hard. I've never like tracked it because I was checking my messages all the time. Like, but I try to, I might be in the bathroom like for a really long time because I take my phone in there. And like, oh, anywhere to go. And in the middle of this, like we've been tons of fundraisers and huge events. I've done like 4 big events in all this. My kids play sports too. So I'm like, I am really passionate about being present with the people that I'm with. And I'm not gonna like sit on my phone when I'm like in the middle of a huge big event fundraiser thing we're putting on for 200 people, you know? So
Right.
I'm like, oh yeah, I'm pregnant. I have to go to the bathroom again. Like, shoot. I might be in there for like a few extra minutes. So I don't know, you know, like in the morning, a solid 2 hours, and then throughout the day. But then there's days where I'll go and, I mean, we went for a week-long vacation. I didn't touch my phone at all. Like I don't know. I would say like 2 hours a day for sure. And then throughout the day, whenever I can hop on. And if I'm like, if we're home doing, like I can stay in the routine, that might be like 4 or 5 hours, but just kind of fun.
Okay.
completely based on the season that you're in or what you can fit in the day. Okay. I think we're going to let Heather go because I know that feeling when you haven't seen your husband for a while. So thank you so much for your time, Heather, and for sharing all that you just did. You are definitely an inspiration. So
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
you have a great
Thank
night.
you.